Malay Nars, running it, Semajining it, Semas, those that Semakran young Sedan Genjin Shena, Semingirim Gonishep, Yuldingirim Gonishera, Yulde, a ranlang, Yultap, Chimichi in the ranlangepa, Sema ranlangepa, Gentopingepa, Genlingepa, what a Tindigi, Kajishigor, that Yulin Jalzu in Keperchigores.
So, if you go to the page number 1, 2, 3. Those who have text. So, in another way, prime cognizers are also twofold, right? So here talking about the process of how the consciousness or the prime cognition realize the object. So like talking about the two. Those which induce ascertainments by themselves, and those when ascertainment is induced by another. So two kind of so understanding by itself and understanding through another way.
다큐런스 탱기윈 단원지도 믿어도 그래서 삼당이네. 삼당에 빼망보도 왔어.
So you don't have time for things giving day if you think. There's a lot of things for you to think about the text, so you don't have time for thinking about the Thanksgiving day.
Yeah, 라는 게 제마제는 게 제마니스. 랑기 잘자 라니 타투 율도 네파 메퍼 랑이 민중와라 네파 란도 겐데니베 서도 밀리베리바 라는 게 제메칭이 시다투스네 라는 게 제마다 벤나 가서 다 menje metobe tsemi jalcha thardu de karre me ranjin saji sipade jalcha thardu de mare jalcha thardu de di sandu neba meper rangi minjung wala ngeba ransop gindemba sem di meo nyembe ngeba da ransop ginden bajila eni rangi ki tsema segre sete tusine kashi ngudwa yultigi jalcha thardu de la kashi ngudwa ase 다디 율라 율기 개발망 용어도 아다 잘제 털두도 강 잘제 털두들라 네바랑도 긴데는 건지라 라랑에 봐. 디율 털두들라 네바 다 오니 다 생이대 되는 거래스. 이제는 이게 생이대.
So again on the page number 1 to 3 continuations, the definitions of the prime cognizer that induce the ascertainment by itself is a new incontrovertible knower which is able to induce through its own power of ascertaining that itself would not arise if the final nature of its object of the comprehension did not be abide in the object. Did you find anything?
What's the Tibetan word that we're defining? What's the Tibetan word we're defining?
생이 definition.
Shenling sema, rangling sema.
Word that we're defining.
Shenling sema, rangling sema.
Rangling sema.
Did you find something? Anything like?
No, I'm looking.
No, I'm asking in general. So the definition is like the definition of a prime cognizer that induce ascertaining by itself is a new incontrovertible knower which is able to induce through its own power of ascertainment that it itself would not arise if the final nature of the object comprehended did not be abide in something in objects. So just like giving an example, like what is the final object final nature of its object, just like when you see the where the eye consciousness see the fire, right? So what is the nature of the fire? Hot and burning, right? Hot and burning is the nature of the fire, right? So the uh, uh, so that consciousness no need to focus on the object, whether fire is burning or whatever. It's called the final nature of the object. You got it? There's in a not arising in if the final nature of object of comprehension did not abide in the object, right? Given. So that consciousness no need to touch for the fire or whatever to realize it is a fire. No need to deal with the whether then what is the nature of fire by seeing consciousness. Right? He don't need to deal with the some consciousness. You have to you need to go through experience and so on. This consciousness you don't need to know by experience. That is the final nature. Is talking about the final nature. What is the nature of the fire? Talking the nature of fire is burning and hot and burning. So you don't need to deal with whether this is fire hot and burning and so on. Now you got it. So that kind of consciousness. You got it, anyone?
As you're explaining what you just said, does that have to do with the Denji Nangchengi Wangwengi Tema?
This just gives the example now, right?
What you just said, this is the valid perception to which the ability to perform a function appears. So you're talking about the fire's burning is a valid, we're seeing its function appear. Okay.
I'm just giving example. There's 4 divisions of this.
사진
5 divisions.
내 랑신 랑이 잘자 타르투데 가르잖아 민진베 왕원라 미 가르서 왕원기 잘자 타르투데 미 사회 랑신데 자고르베 차와다 자고르베 가르자고르스 다 사회 랑신들아 네바 랑섭긴데 마지 구와레스 내 랑신들라 잘자 타르투데라 잘자 다 잘자 타르투데 자고르와 차와다 자고르 잘자 타르투
사와들라 랑도 니녀거래.
어다 증에 버런 속긴데 된 두근지라 아니 랑랑이 기체마세 거레스.
So here talking about just like 제제 타도들라 랑게바 랑도 기된 거래.
오.
So just like when the
랑칼 디나 저저 타르투바 일상도 네바 메버 랑이 민중을 네바 랑도 긴데 네바스기도.
So the thing is like 그 메나 마중에 대화지 거래 지금 말해.
아이.
The object when you look for the fire, right? Talking about the final nature of the object of the fire is quite hot and burning, right? So you'll the mena never make you adira. You'll the mena you are marala.
어.
Tiro the this
네바 메버 민중을 네바 랑도 긴데 네바.
shorang hadul game card.
멀중한 강도 뒤라고 있는
다른 접시. 샘생긴
율대 상도 세대 다 랑이 타르투비율 세대가라 매 랑진 차와데 자구로 왔다
타도는 never 메바라.
어다티 딤만 네바 메바스 다티 메나 사회 랑진네 메나다 메싱디 자식 말아 텔랭에번 댕고다 다 간지
카드
메네 민중 대화소리지 네고도.
So here talking about the final when you eye consciousness see the fire, if the final object is the final nature of the object is burning, hot and burning. If hot and burning is not there, then you are unable to see the fire, right? So kind of like they are talking about the relations between the if one and not exists, other cannot be exist. Like that actually. There's a different kinds of relations talking about the one nature entity, cause and effect, and relations, causal effect, relation between existent. One exists, other should be exist. If other is not exist, one should not be exist because of one other is not there. Yeah, kind of like direct correlations between the fire and the hot and burning are relations. They're actually definendum and definitions. So that if the fire not exists, hot and burning not exist. If the hot and burning not exist, the fire is not exist.
What is the final object with the
Third yudi is like hot and burning.
사회랑신대 자고 그러지.
The hot and burning is the nature of the fire, right? It's the final object of that one. Did they scope it?
다디 가버래. 다 오늘 류니베나데 라랑이 기츠마다 지능이 기츠마다 저방만 보는 것도
Liu?
류니바 남들
Namde
류니바 저디가라.
So just like
배
this nu zimmeji
아이
nu zimmeji kap tangbro.
오래 데 갑당배나 레레 그래. 류니베는 배 몽벌레 그래.
So just like these two prime cognizers induced assented by themselves, and those who when ascertain is induced by other, this kind of prime cognizers have lots of debate during the time of when we study the Paramanavartika first chapter, and also in the mostly in the second chapter there's a lot of debate on that one. Actually it's complicated to understand.
Still working on
다 텔레이나 돈 콤바징게 왕은 세마스 라랑 녜비 세마들랑 가자고 왔다 베데 나시기 케버토스 에 예왕 가자고 그래 돈 콤바징게 무슨 세마 돈제 나지기 왕은 세마 아 라리 무슨기 세마 나저 무슨기 세마 예수밥에 세마 당아 세기도 랑 대고 강가다 라는 얘기 제 말에.
So again on the page number 1 to 3, so if you look for the paragraph last one, so when prime cognizers which induce ascertained by themselves are divided, there are 5, right?
세마
So the sense direct prime cognizer having a familiar object. First is like familiar object. Now it's come with the fire and so on. And secondly, sense direct prime cognizer to which the ability of perform the function appear. Okay. Then third is like self-knowing direct prime cognizer. Fourth is yogi direct prime cognizer, and the last is inferential prime cognizer. It will give you each and if you go through right each and every example or illustration he will give you, and the text will define you.
다 된 콤바징게 왕은 세마다 다 나란주 페이 다 니는 sensitive 페이기 비기기 페존지 뭐 왕은 sensitive 디가난 도스다 비기라 페존지 뭐 왕은데 왕은 세마다 된 콤바징게 세마래 에세
So that here
다 아메귤라 분 비존지 뭐 세마용적으로 와. 그래서 다 야마자레아레스.
Here in the page they give the illustrations of a sense direct prime cognizer having a familiar object is a sense direct perceiver in the continuum of a son apprehending his father's form. So because of just like he have more familiar with his father, right? The son have more familiar with father, or you can talk about the mother have more familiar with son, whatever. Kind of like this is giving like you can whatever you can see. Mother have sons apprehending his father form, or mother apprehending his son form, whatever. Example like more things talking about the more familiar things between the object and the object processor.
다들 때라 된 콤바진세 거라 딱 계산이 계산 통계는 다가라 디링배 같이 찌든지네 다가랑 진대인도 된 콤바진기 와 왕은 세마세 거다 때라 돈 콤바진기 왕은 세마 간직은 같이 진진기로도 슈춤보 여바 계속해서 말해.
So talking about just like whatever you see yesterday, you see today again. So here you can give also in the text they give a girl apprehending her own watch, right? Who have just like who see his watch every day and more familiar. Just like he see yesterday, he see today, or whatever. It seems like he's permanent. So it's more have a grasping of permanent.
ngachi
the
chi
phenomenon.
dunjingyo marbe palche ngachi chinzin zodechi
So like
shu chumbo le gores nasege dan zinzul mara yebe nane ngachi chinzin de shu chumbo shu chi lege sar sabgdo
so over here he talking about those have more grasping of oneness between the previous and the today one, yesterday one, today. If you feel like this is one, then
오늘
have
저는
grasping
계산
different.
통해 주대 드림 통해 주대 말와
So in general, just like whatever you see yesterday is not today there. It's already gone, pass away. But you feel
재상
like
가지고
this is the one.
ngachi chi dunjin inza 계산 따가라 드림 통해 랍고 알아
So just like because of we grasp one between previous and the today, whatever I see. So you say whatever I saw yesterday was I again saw today. Actually, yesterday was already gone, and today you see new one.
강곰 곰바 채쇼 디가 자초고 알아 배나 비메 데멘 치고가 라고 영인즈 데멘 치고들 시부 진짜 레게 알아
So like mostly like whatever you have more familiar experience or whatever, just like those who have more attached to your diamond ring. So just like you feel like yesterday diamonds, today same the things and so on.
오다 데라 된 곰바진 민데라 된 곰바진 경왕은 세민 다바르다 두세
So the prime cognizer is called prime cognizer having a familiar object, like sense of grasping yesterday and today, sameness, oneness.
다 던제 난제 경왕은 세마다 가르자고 그러다 제속이 던제 니버절베 민진 왕은 타부 니바시기도 다 메다나 추 콜기요 봤던다 소소인데든 가다 던디긴 더든 두비알라다 던다 로처레지라나 더든 두비에 와다 메다나 아니 칼라 소투부에 와다 대저 하고 있거든 답에 하게 가르소래 제속이 던제 니버절베 세마즈고 민진 왕은 좀답 맞아 메다나에 배 되게야단 다지 던디기 하고 그거는 다도 제대다 그 던디기 가르소래 미루어질라다 던제 낭제기 왕은 체마세다 또 쓰는다 가르소다 젤레기 개버지 또 통이고도 또 시거 말베 유르코랑 젤레기 개버지
So if you look for the page 124, an illusion for the sense direct prime cognizer to which the ability to perform a functions appear in the sense direct perceiver, which apprehending fire corroborated that the fire is able to perform functions of cooking and so on. Right. So here talking about the
다 발전을 유르기 젤레기 개버시 통용거래
So here mostly talking about the experience on the actions. So whatever you want to boil or water, you make fire. You need to make fire, or you need what electric kettle right now. You need to put on a light, right? Right now mostly use electric kettle. Without electric kettle, you cannot burn a water, or you cannot put a fire. So like, so the cause of like to make a boil or to cook, you need to put fire. Otherwise, not possible to have cook, right?
that
So
is
like
change
appearance, like this kinds of like
생시 잠래스
so prime cognition. These are the just an illustrations. So just like when you do practice and so on, also same like that.
미 더든들란 담이다 여러와 고 장래라 잘쳐가라 잘해라 잘쳐고래 담이라고 되게 잘해요 잘쳐인데 젤레기 개발하고는 담 잘쳐에 용그레스
So just like the people have different kinds of wish. whatever. Just like sometimes we need cook, sometimes we need ice in it. So ice we
사와
need fruits.
이쁘갈라 장모도 뱅기도 와서.
So like
대다
different-
다음도 아메리카다 장 카땅게 땅게 장모도 온데게도.
so like whatever whatever, just like if you need cold, you use the again to make cold or whatever. These are the actions, because if you do that, it will come that one cause and conditions. So like whatever in America, that's even if it's snowing, but people drink ice.
니또 네바 진짜 잘 믿는디래. 그래서 현 땅들라.
So it's like this is seems like the actions American drink cold water, very ice water during the snowing. It seems like direct contradiction for this.
대체 뭐인다 양. 오야.
Just like eating.
So on this level, we're talking about obvious level.
Ah?
The obvious level of seeing the functionality.
Yeah, functionalities and so on. These are talking about the functionality.
So, go ahead.
Is it the same thing as gross level?
Yeah, obvious gross, yeah.
Yeah.
So like when, if I look at a hammer, I know that the hammer's function is to be able to put this nail in the wall, right?
Yeah.
But some people look at the hammer and say this function of the hammer is to put it in the back of this person's head. So something's off. Or what?
This is not a valid, right?
You can pull a nail out. But the,
Hammer have two-sided. One have this kind of then to pull out.
or so yes, they still see the function. What they're using it on is wrong.
자, 라리 그래서 라랑의 기체마다다 그 세망염성이 라리 권하지 라도니 자셔도 된데 시시라 다 디르다 그 라랑의 기 라리 기 라랑의 기체마 다 세망염성이 라리 치지 대가랑 자셔도 다 된데 그거라 되니 나중 무슨 이 라랑 내기 제마들라 간사가 다음에 무슨 뜻도 이시 다 부지바서 송도.
So now you look for the page number again 1 to 4, the second short paragraph, whatever. An illustration for the self-knowing direct prime cognizer is a self-knowing direct perceiver that experiences the prime cognizer. Prime cognizer, apprehender, apprehended. You remember apprehender and apprehended. Prime cognizer, and with prime cognizer there's another consciousness, self-knower. He is also prime on that time. You remember self-knower?
라리라 가서 진남세디 진남대 라리기 생기세거라. 시비율에 시바지마도 시바 마인바지 주젠다 데민디제든데 균이 레기오 말이지.
So just talking about this self-knowing. Self-knowing consciousness means self means mind itself. Talking about the where page number just with
라리 대신이 그버데 시나 하고 야레스. 라리 있으디가라
do you remember page number
Zinam.
59?
진리 있으디 존남.
The definition of self-knower is that which has the aspect of an apprehender, right? So the first moment of eye consciousness, I seeing the pen, is eye consciousness is valid for what? Pen. On that time, he is the he is the apprehended, right? So with that consciousness, there is another consciousness. With that is called self-knowing. That consciousness only know the eye consciousness. So during that time, the object, this is the apprehender and consciousness apprehended. So self-knowing. So on that time, it's talking about the self-knower, that one. And another is like an illustration of a yogi direct perceived prime cognizer is a wisdom consciousness directly realizing selfness of a person. So they're talking about the yogi direct perceiver. When you reach the path of seeing, you will have yoga directly. So you see the emptiness directly and so on. Here talking about the selflessness. So seeing selflessness directly, that one.
단 담이다도 베셔봐도 단 랑랭이 기체마 제바도 그 랑랭이 기체마 담이다도 베셔봐다 가는 샤셔도 다고 담이다베 친시란 봄밤이다베 베셔발라나데 다카리나 콘디거레스 제바이나.
So then the last an illustration for the inferential prime cognizer, inferential cognizer realizing sounds to be impermanent. So those kind of, whether you talk about the inferential cognizer realizing emptiness or the impermanence, whatever. Inferential means using by logic, right? Understand the thesis by using reasoning. So this is called inferential. So the first moment is called prime cognizer.
Ritterle tunri dan rari ni jesu panam ranling je ombichro status je that mariter pajer saki keba mare saki bandita oda bela seme jun tambo zenginde resu sunda sa bandita.
So the text here giving the divisions of those which induce ascertain by themselves. Now they divide into 5 categories. So you cannot just divide. You have to look on the one text to prove. So we call it transmission and kinds of transmission. They describe about that one. So here talking about the thema. Such 5-fold divisions of prime cognizer able to induce ascertain by themselves is thought of Sakya Pandita. You look for the page 1 to 5. Right, treasure of reasoning. The text coming from treasure of reasoning, Sakya Pandita, which says the true knower of object and the true self-knower and inference ascertain by themselves. So it's talking about the 5, right? The true knower of object is the first true. There are 5 divisions, right? So the first two is like is first two represented by the true knower of object, and second two is self-knower, talking about the self-knowing and the yogi direction, and the last is like inferential. So it's talking about the five kind of induce those we induce ascertain by themselves. The proof of the text. How to say? Where is the text coming from? How is the text? The divisions is coming from. You cannot so over here, the true knower of the object, talking about the first true sense direct prime cognizer having a familiar object, and the sense direct prime cognizer to which ability to perform functions. So these two are then so the true self-knower is the self-knowing consciousness, self-knowing direct prime cognizer, and other is yogi direct prime cognizer. Then the fifth one is inference or inferential prime cognizer. 5 total categories.
Nipa jilangi ki tsima la de jiru ki kuni yena sedo no ta dina de jiri sedo gala yawa tata ji de jiru kuni yawa main se de tende ta densa sunga sungre ati de jiri sedo gala ta karsore kisi jana dindi ja chogre esi tata de kora mare se gore induranda.
So so now the second, if you look for the 1 to 5 again, when prime cognizer when asserting is induced by another are terminologically divided. So it's terminological. It doesn't means it not necessarily that one. You got it? He divide into three categories of that one, but any one of that not necessarily the what a prime cognizant which asserting is induced by another. Like give an example like later.
이지대 여왕이라 캡치 중국어라 있으러와. 뭐만 이지 여왕이나 캡치 중국어라 있어.
So just like is she the base of divisions and divide? What happened? Base of divisions and the divided five categories are necessary. We have how to say? 예시 체중 캡체중 way of preceding, just like pervasive. One is need to be as one necessarily not one should be including it. If it is the division, it should be induced in if it is something, then it should be necessarily be the best divisions divide. Ishi, the best of divisions divide where it's the best. Just like I give you example, prime cognizer into two, right? If it is a direct prime cognizer, it should be a prime cognizer. If it is a prime cognizer, it not necessarily be a direct prime cognizer. Like that. So one is should be a bigger, one is smaller. Yeah, it's like a chin setup. Yeah, subs.
배나 무포즈나
Paul and the subset. Right?
무포즈나 캡처모로 와시. 주 셰팔 데민디제데 캡충착도 와시.
So like if you talk about the things which perform functions, actually definition of things is like which is able to perform function is called things. So things, yeah, THINGS, things. So the definition is called which is able to perform a function is the definition of things. So things like divide into three categories: form, consciousness, and non-associated compositional factor, right? So like things is more in wider way than if you come in one part, like form, then it's one part of that one, like that.
So it's like on your laptop or your desktop main screen, if you create a folder, this folder says things, and anything that is a thing goes into that folder. But this folder could go into ShapeUp, knowables, right? So there could be other folders that folder can go into.
I don't got it.
Do you get it? So like if you so when Geisha, like Geisha was saying this,
folder, but you have like three categories in the folder that you put things into.
right. So there's a bigger folder and then there's subfolders, and there could be even more subfolders. But that biggest folder could go into another folder. Right, lists.
Huh?
The only way to get to enlightenment is
So
lists.
so the thing is you have to think about the you talk about general and the instant, right? Similar to that, but when it's best divisions and not a terminological division, it's enumerations. I forget now what. Now I forget the words.
Yeah, lists.
Yeah, enumerations. If it is enumeration divisions and the division base, what is called yeshi base of division.
Yishi?
Yeah,
Wisdom?
yeshi
이시
yeshi the base for divisions. Then it divide into some categories, right? So some are enumerate divisions, some are terminological divisions. If it is enumerate divisions, it should be general and that instant. But if it is a terminological division, it not necessarily like that.
When you said instant, did you mean cheda?
Yeah.
In particular.
Well,
Yeah. Instant sounds more like time.
time?
Yeah. But
Okay.
instant is English more like time. So cheda is more particular.
Yeah, general and specific or whatever. I search. Okay.
Sorry.
Ah,
Sorry.
sorry for I know this is we call instant, right? Particle is also good.
다 하고 선생.
Now asking, do you know
다 주소 가져래도.
how much? Karagumas. Yeah.
So help me to understand. How is this category of prime condition? Because we're talking about the subdivision of the second type of prime condition. How is this category different from the inferential prime condition of the first type of prime condition? How is it different?
There's a different way to divide. Okay. First is like we have in the beginning we talk about the two, right? Prime cognizer divided into two categories. That is easy, direct and the inferential. That's fine. It's easy, right? Now come to another way of divisions. We can say different and explain way. Explain in different another way. Right? So like they give you like two division which induce ascertainment by themselves, and other is called when those when ascertained it's induced by another. The way of division is a little bit different, but the first one include both the two, direct and the inferential prime cognizer, right? And second one only have the prime cognizer. I think there's no inferential cognizer in the second one divisions. If it is the second one, it should be a direct prime cognizer, right? So making like different way of divisions is making in a different way. It not necessarily, if you divide the prime cognizer, it not necessarily divide into the prime and direct and then inferential cognizer. It not necessarily. You can divide in another way if you have any ability to do. So this is the another way of divisions, how the text define the prime cognizer.
디나라.
So if we call it like things impermanent and so on, right? Things divided into three categories. Impermanent, we never talk about the grosser and subtle level. If you still want to divide impermanent, you can also divide into three categories, right? So we call it form, consciousness, and non-necessary compositional factor. It can also divide into impermanent into that category. But way of define in general text is like only given this way. So in generally we divide the prime cognizer into inferential and the direct. But there's another way of division. You can do like that one.
어제 여가 이중 은행이나 생이버이나 겹치중 고가래스와 거다 겹치중 고 시에게 돈달라 케버 시에게 돈달라 이 데지르고는 자야도 그 케버 토스 케버여 인자 케버 시에 돈달라 두수 자바르마다 여가 이지랑 차요 말이지.
So
데지르 라고도
terminology.
칸이 제르 툭 잠지세 소리시르다.
Etymology. Just wait. So whatever the in general division based and divided, you got it. The division basis of where you division making, like example like direct prime cognizer is the base of divisions. Then it's divided into three categories. So in general, it's net greater and smaller. So means that each part have, if it is a we're talking in general prime cognizer, it not necessarily be the divisions of one part, but among that three should be one, but one part not necessarily. Like if it is a prime cognizer, it not necessarily be a direct prime cognizer, right? So it means that greater and the smaller. You have to compare with the one part. You don't need to compare with both the side. If you both side, then it's equivalent, different way. Okay. So in general, then terminological divisions is totally different. It not necessarily like that. We sometimes we call it etymology. I don't know, etymological. Yeah. So you can how to give example easy to understand. I don't remember now. There's one easy kind of pay again.
아이
다저리 거네요. pay 시키다. 쟁입니다. 고대다 오지. 고도.
그 칸이 zer나 zer쳐야지 이제 여와서 이제 zer쳐야지 임발라 돈다 네요 말했어.
So over here, just like sometimes you can some divisions like you can say it's divide from that one, divide division of that one, but not if it is that one, not necessarily be another one. It's called a etymology or terminology.
So it's kind of like saying the car. If I take the idea of cars, my car fits into that set. Her car fits into that set. But car is not necessarily.
You can have black cars and blue cars.
Yeah, and they're still cars.
They are still car. So like example is giving like
A direct valid perception is a valid perception, but a valid perception is not necessarily only direct.
so this is normal divisions. So it means it's greater and smaller division.
But if we had
Boys' cars and girls' cars, we'd be in a different set.
right, and if you had a blue car with 2 doors and a blue car with 4 doors, we're in blue cars, but we created another smaller set.
신다시여 뺄래라우시여. 되게 믿었다. 얘만 슝되네 열.
데지리데
어.
It must be, or they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
everything that's in Buddhism is supposed to get us enlightened. I asked Geshe a long time ago in Greenwood about Chi and Cheda. And then Geshe asked me, what are you, Chi or Cheda? And it blew my mind. Is there Mark and a subcategory of Mark? Yeah. Mark yesterday fits in the subcategory of Mark. Mark today fits in the category of Mark. But what is Mark? It blows my mind. It's pretty cool, actually. Somewhere out there. Well, I think actually he's right here. There's Mark on Mac, or still don't know if it's ketamine or Mac, but Mark was out there. And there's Geshe teaching, and Geshe making tea.
야 니네 젤랭이 기체미 칭이데 zu르도 숨이다 올레네 지시
열다.
그러니까
I think so.
민데
민도
또 강라도 된다 민니가 시중이 당에 세마시나 땡고 바데 사도 밀로.
니바 젤랭이
젤랭이
참말란
있으면
데지리
고고 당보고랑
알라라
당보고랑 칭이 여 칭이 시험데 니제게 칭이 시.
어다데르샤 덴데 미니 퍼 친중 타녜베 체마 젠라 땡고베 서도 밀리르바 젠리 젠랭이 기체마 제디가 다디 어다 기칭이데 랍샤다 도도도
So the definition of prime cognizer when asserting is induced by another is a new incontrovertible knower that is unable to induce such assertions but must depend on another later conventional prime cognizer. Division of the second one.
자자 고 다기 rangi jelja thardula ngeba ranthop gindengu do atate ngeba ranthop gyamanda thangi pe sema jena dengu go ro thangi pe.
So just like the first one is ascertainment by itself. The second one is depend on the other. Second part is like it depend on the other things like votes or the conventional or any kinds of like things.
Ta niba jenenge gi semala de jiru gi kone na sum nawa rang la nge shin demba jen la nge pa chi rang la nge shin kebra jen la nge pa nawa ta nawa ni kyang jen la nge pa ta sum
No one is selling it.
sum se sung do ta nawa rang la nge shin demba jen la nge pa si de gala kare tenla me kato imbala ta tu sha jore mukpa yendegi gyatsu paral gyatsu taring bona tuwa mup tapage mazu di karsor taring bona marlem lembare na me marlem lembaranta sena kunga jana tarun salche chagre ta tenda me kato marlem nawade nawa karsa ranglang shin demba ta me ranjin sawade sema jenli nyegure maresi
Me ranchindi.
me ranjin de sawade sema jengi nge gudo as deta bodina pe tangpo de jiresi.
So example like the first one, division at the prime cognizant when ascertain is induced by another are terminologically divided. There are three, right? Those when the ascertainment of the appearance is induced by itself, but ascertainment of the truth is induced by another. So it's giving example in the very far away, in whatever far away from you, in the night time, when you see the flame.
Tenla me kato me imbache me kato malamba na
So
shepate.
example like a prime, an illustration as flow, right? A prime cognizant when ascertainment of appearance induced by itself by ascertainment of truth of induced by another is, for example, a sense direct principle appearing the distance of reddish color, which is fact of color fire, and which respects to which is which a conceptual consciousness has doubt, wondering is that the color of fire or not. Now you got it. So whatever in the far away you seeing the color of reddish, a fire color, right? So the things you see in general actually is a fire, but for you see the color, but actually you see first time is prime cognizant. But you need to ready whether it is in final object of, just like we call it before, the nature of fire and so on. It's what
Somehow you would have to have someone.
yeah, someone to, yeah, you have to know through other someone, right?
Yeah.
So they are called kind of like
Like when you're a child, baby.
다 me kato malamba jawe temategi demba ta me ranjin sawade tangi be tema jenle tene nge guya yogati.
so just like now when these kinds of consciousness, right? So you see the reddish color of whatever the fire. So the final object is the nature of the fire, hot and burning, whatever. He have to deal with another. So talking about this kind of consciousness is valid or not valid, or prime cognizant or not.
The question is whether
This consciousness, the consciousness, oh, you are here and you see very far a reddish color of whatever. You are doubt about whether this is a fire or not. You see the first time. This is valid consciousness or not. But to confirm, you have to deal with another.
well, it's a valid prime cognizer who sees fire for the first time, and then another valid prime cognizer when it's understood what that is
So
through other information that someone else tells.
first time when you see that one,
Yeah.
that is valid consciousness or not. Samares.
다 대인들가라 아 세마인데 매일 세마 송여서 말해 매 가던 자리 세마되게 매일 세마 송여서
So the question is, so now question is whether it's valid for the prime cognizer for fire or not, or prime cognizer for color of the fire.
From distance, right? Then I don't think so.
It's not valid.
I don't think so.
It's valid.
Because
대인은 리그어스 대인 리그도스 그런 대일라나 리그도스 다 면자에 매 가던 자에 세마데 면자에 세마 말해 왔어
So it means the consciousness we see the color of the fire is not a talking. This is valid cognition or not? So you said no, right?
And here's why. Because what if, especially now that it's Christmas, going to be Christmas time, some people have little lights outside that look like a fire. So from a distance, it might look like a fire.
대까지 시고 말 대중을 돈을 매 가도 인지 랍사레스
So there's information missing.
디 랍사요 말레스
No. You look for the example.
돈을 매 가도 인지
You look for the example. A prime cognizer when ascertainment of appearance is induced by self, but ascertainment of other truth is induced by another. The first example you have to look. For example, a sense direct perceiver apprehending in a distance of a reddish color, which in fact is fact in fire.
Okay, then forget the.
Forget about the lamp and so on. In fact, they are talking about fire.
근데다 아메리카 망부야레스
So there's a lot of things like fire.
Lots of
Fake fire.
메즈마다 망부야레
Yes.
미즈마 레뱅이 가도다
Yes.
So just to be clear, the first valid prime cognizer is a recognition of the object, not so much like what the object is. Is that correct? So like if you were to see red,
So
recognizing red, that's accurate, but taking closer ends up being
so now the question is whether this consciousness is valid for color or the fire,
the color.
not for fire. This is not a that consciousness is not grasping fire. Mela kadol semare mela sema marisa.
멜레츠마 말했지 멜레츠마 마이나 매 가던 자데 민잘리오 말베스
So just like when you see the color of fire, you didn't see the color of fire.
아니 기비
Then
기비
those who don't know
기비
the,
입다 가던 자데 기분 잘 말베스
so when you see the
기비 입다
people,
가던 자에 세마데 기분만 잡았다
when you see the people, the shapes and the color, then you on that time he is not valid for that person or not. Just an example. If you see me first time, you don't know my name Mijay. First time you see me, you are valid for me or not? You are valid for Mijay or not? No, you are not valid for me. You didn't see Mijay. If you see Mijay, you need to know everything.
대대나 지든디니 당에도 가도 일라 사지져서 그도 와서
지대디니 당에도 가다 일렀어.
사지져서 그래
쌀.
사지죠
가와 쌀아. So in just like in the text we call it in general in the worldly we talk about
디페
when you see the people we define as through the shapes and the color. We don't need to
입다 가도 도발한테 통설
so
라부로
like when you see the shapes,
아니 지든 당에다
shapes and the,
갈도 그러
the color of the people, then you said I saw this one. So in general in worldly we talk, right?
가르사
I can't say the shape of Mijay until I know Mijay. I can see the shape of the person.
So I didn't ask did you see Mijay or not?
No,
You didn't see Mijay?
I didn't see Mijay.
You didn't see Mijay?
No.
You see what?
니게 개발자기 하고 믿을라다 니게 등에서 하고
You
믿을라다
didn't see Mijay.
You want Mijay.
You are valid for me or not?
Yeah, I didn't have a label for it, so I didn't see Mijay.
You didn't see Mijay.
I did see a human.
You see humans. You see who?
I saw a monk.
You see Mijay, no Mijay.
Mijay.
later became Mijay was disconnected by you.
When I first met you, it was Mijay, and then someone told me your name was
아니,
Mijay, but then I got
배나
corrected later.
마게 입다 가서 통하라 마 통하 자그 말베스.
When you see the, just like giving example, when you see the mark, shape and color, if someone people say you can see mark or not, you can describe I see mark or not. When you someone see your shapes and color, then they can say I saw mark or not.
It's not
You can
mark for them if they don't know Mark.
So you need to know the name.
Yeah, I think so.
You think you
If you're gonna
They-
use that as an example,
숨 마또 배들 다시 봐 진지미지 구구도 하세다.
then the
So-
label Mark would
so
마또 발라
now,
다
your eye consciousness, even if you know me, your eye consciousness never see me.
you asked a different question.
Now I'm asking
Did I
you-
see me or did I see Mijay?
Okay.
Mijay.
Okay, now.
Your eye consciousness never see Mijay. Now give me answer. Your consciousness never valid for me.
Before I met
See Mijay.
now,
Now whatever. Even if you know or not name. I'm asking about your eye consciousness. I'm not asking
Didn't
about
you
your conceptual thought. I'm
딘디나
asking about your eye consciousness.
then yes.
You see me?
Yes.
You see your eye consciousness valid for me?
Seems they could do this either way. On both sides.
You valid
Didn't-
for me?
wait.
Your
로야.
Your eye consciousness valid for me or not? If no, if yes, then your eye consciousness know my name.
도발라 탕이
I said
도발라 탕이 저래
Then
기는
you say you need to know name, right?
why I did this. This is a real me name.
So then mean for time cognizer you don't need to name, right?
도발라 탕이 기는 저시 저래 요 말하다. 또 도발라 철당 그 민도 아마
왕실.
왕시다 도발라 건가.
So
도발라 탕이 저래
So
topic thing is regular.
let me ask
도베데 파 탕이 저러 와. 도베 율 땅부터 연들라. 왕실 남리기도.
왕실
Yeah.
내 근데 거 너지 당 왕실이 통해 말해야 되는가 큐니. Your eye consciousness never valid for me, right?
my eye consciousness is never valid for Mijay.
Yeah, right. Your consciousness always conventional, or your eye consciousness always subsequent cognition.
드니다 만지미 미시디 풀치를 배다.
Then it's talk.
Consciousness is
풀치를 배다.
It's irrelevant. You asked me if is my eye consciousness seeing Mijay? Is that the question?
Yeah,
No.
always we are subsequent
만지미
cognition.
미시여래요 말이지.
Is asking is the subsequent cognition, subsequent consciousness.
만지미
Not a cognition,
미시스마여래요 말이지.
So talking about there's a
That means
eye
it's a
consciousness which apprehending mark or not.
매세고 지그러.
No, I don't think so.
No,
The eye consciousness is not
eye consciousness doesn't have
Mark is a concept.
eye consciousness.
Right?
Ah?
Mark is Deminduce.
Mark is damage. Mark is
So Mark is a concept. Topa, right?
Mark
Topa
is
말아.
damage.
Mark? Topa, right?
Mark to 말해.
또 마시바르 배니 또바이나.
Mark is a concept, yeah?
What do you say?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What do you say?
The eye consciousness, if a fish looks at Mark, it doesn't go, oh, Mark. The eye consciousness of a fish doesn't have Mark. So the eye,
So you don't need name, right?
right? For the
Or now come to that your point. You say when you see for the color of the fire, you say you see only color. You didn't see the fire. You told that only valid for color, right? He didn't show the other one. So I ask you why. You say you need to relations or you need to know that is fire or something like that. Now come to the point like so. My eye consciousness never saw you, and never be valid for you because eye consciousness never saw you, never recognize you, never give you a name. The point is like that. In the beginning, in the
the shape and color of the fire.
yeah,
Then afterward, a label comes.
eye consciousness only see the color, right? Then that eye consciousness is valid or not valid? Valid for what? Valid for fire or valid for color? Not for fire. Then there's no eye consciousness valid for fire. The point is like there's no valid eye consciousness see the fire. No.
되게
then also how it's come for valid for color? There's no valid eye consciousness with grasp apprehending fire. No. There's no valid for color. Why? First, why? Why there's no valid for fire?
The eye doesn't attach the label. The eye just collects information.
Then he didn't see the color.
Saw the color.
He is not valid for our color. Thus he don't have ability to label the color.
Well, not
Point is
label
like-
the color, but okay. So this is where words get really funky.
Fine.
I can see red, but I can't see the label red. I can't call it red. The eye
Oh,
can
you-
see the red.
That's fine. Then you see the fire.
Yes.
Then what
There's
happened?
no label.
Then what happened? Same.
Yeah. So it sees. It's really delicate.
되네 탕이
Slip off this way, slip off that way.
다미시베 간사 길라에니 메토에 민두스다.
So those who don't know name fire, then they don't have ability to know fire, understand the fire. They never have eye, kind of like prime cognizer apprehending fire. Yeah, yeah. Of course, animal I have never. No, animal never understand the fire. So the fire didn't. They have called like the fly. Some who goes to the fire, right? Did they know the fire or not? If they don't know the fire, then how they can jump? They feel the heat, right? They're valid for heat.
어두스스 답에 삼로망보단 고르다 삼당에디 두스레스.
So you have to think in different way.
두스 삼당은 되니 리베 워치그레스 야보야.
If you think through this way, you will have ability to. Yes.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing as going to a doctor. If you have a problem going on in your life and you don't know what it is, the doctor is going to analyze all these little details and so on to find out
You
what's
leaving?
working and what's not working.
오,
Happy birthday.
바이바이. 해피 바데 웨이.
Okay,
해피 영거스.
Yeah.
야, 네.
What I was going to say was
The point is like I will explain. The point is like we give the example like far from the color. If I see the color of reddish color of fire, so we ask the questions whether that valid for color or that was valid for the fire. You say this is valid for fire color, not for the fire, right? Asking how it's not valid for a fire. Yeah, of course. Eye consciousness never. Eye consciousness and conceptual are different kinds of consciousness.
So is that the same thing as like sense consciousness? So like if I rub my hand against this object, is that like, what would that be?
You say sense consciousness.
I can have a very low functioning conceptual understanding and still have all these sensory input, I guess is what it.
So you have to know whenever you touch, whenever you see, you are just see directly. You are not labeling. Label only used by conceptual. So it's called mental consciousness. The sixth one. We consciousness we divide into 6 categories. If you look, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and 6 is mental one. Mental one use all the labeling. This, that are doing by mental, not by eye sense consciousness.
당봉가들라 왕시에세, 타마들라 이시에세.
So there's like sense consciousness and the mental consciousness. So all the conceptual whatever you were talking about this, all are mental consciousness.
So there's a story, and what I was going to say was I think Greg might have heard this, and I don't know the validity of it, but it's been perpetuated a lot. Supposedly when Christopher Columbus came to America, his ships were visible from shore for several days, and the natives on the shore could not see the ships. They have never seen anything like this, so they didn't even see it. When they dropped the anchor, supposedly the shaman saw something different about the water, and he kept watching, and as he looked harder and harder, because he showed them and they trusted him. This is a. I don't know how where the story originated, but
Is it fact? Or is it truth? That's the point. It's make we sometimes make just like for funny.
Huh?
Some for fun. It's
true.
truth. It's a joke, right?
No, it's not a joke. This
Is
is
it truth?
supposedly true.
It's supposed to be true.
Supposedly true, but I don't know exactly where it came from, so I haven't been able to find out if it's actual fact.
How could he didn't see the first sheep?
Shaman would have written it down. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there were. You need to read the book 1491.
Yeah, I do.
It's supposedly there were 100 million natives living in Americas, and the French were actually trading with them before Christopher Columbus mistakenly came here, and they brought all three plagues at the same time, wiped out 90 million natives.
So
There's
so 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 the Indian when the Indian
so then-
marketing with the French, they didn't sow the sheep. How the French come?
Okay.
Right,
Gotta have to.
but they didn't know how to conceptualize it.
No, that's a good point.
Well, I've also heard that there's languages, like some Russian languages, that have sounds that other languages don't, and,
Oh.
and unless you were raised around that language, you don't even, some of those sounds you can't
Well,
hear.
Tibetan, first three letters, ka, ga. For Americans, it just sounds like you said the same three words with just slightly different inflection. Doesn't sound the same. That's why I told Geisha put shit in tea. Said the same thing. So when we see the fire, we're actually seeing only the shape and color until we label it. And then it becomes fire.
So the question is whether it's valid for color or whether it's valid for fire.
And it's valid for color.
No, neither one.
Not for valid for fire.
It's not
Why
valid
is not valid for fire?
because we haven't had a concept of fire yet.
Then how you valid for color? You didn't have concept for color.
Okay, besides the word red, are we talking about the sense data redness?
Yeah, red.
Label. The eyes.
You see you see the reddish color. You see the reddish. See who? Eye consciousness see, right? Eye consciousness cannot label, right? Give an example. Who see the reddish color? In general, it's fire. You see the reddish color. So, give an example. The eye consciousness is valid prime cognition for color or the fire. If it is for color, why it's not for fire? You say you didn't label. Then how he labeled the color?
Premonition is not necessarily a direct time cognition.
Right now, is given example the direct, right?
Okay, yes. So in this example is so let's say, for example, like if some, let's say I live in a forest for whatever's wound, so I have never see a fire. Let's just assume that.
Forest live in fire. Forest can see more fire.
Like let's say I live on food. Okay. So the first time I see fire, I can see the color. I don't label it, red or anything, but I see it because it's right in front of me. But I don't really know everything about that object because I don't have other knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Then
So until let's say I finally met another human being, and that human being told me that okay, this we learned it is called fire. Then that let's say I just need two knowledge to complete my knowledge of the fire. Just assume that. Then when that person told me this is fire and is used for cooking, for warming up, for burning wood, thing like that, then it completed my knowledge of that fire.
then
I'm thinking this.
Until then, I don't have a valid condition of the fire.
so the question is, before you know the name, you are valid for what? Asking question is that one.
I think
Before you know the name, your consciousness is valid or not?
I think these processes are happening a lot faster than what we're talking about because
Of
if I took 5 pieces of paper and I shot a bullet through them, does the bullet go through all 5 at the same time, or does it go through one at a time?
one at a time,
Goes
of
through
course,
one
don't
at a
know.
time, then the eye makes contact with the color, moves the energy to another part of the mind, and
So
If an animal is taking consent, is it valid?
라미시베 간사길라 메토베 시바야 메토베 ts마여요 말라.
Know the nature of it.
딘데
이거 라기도 그
아이.
뭐 라기도 리베길 라기도 둔돌라 같이 걸었어.
때래. 티차로 그러.
So talking is same, right?
So what she
You
said
could-
is
Yeah, for animals.
So what you're
Right,
doing
Sophia.
by asking about the red and the flame is actually just wordplay.
Oh, not a word play. Asking valid for what? Fire or the color? I give you example, right?
It is valid.
Yeah, prime cognition. Prime cognition. Giving example the first
월
time.
플레이즈데 지켄세 걸어.
치강라 저거들라.
돈달
Example
Don't
example right.
돈달 두고 와래.
Example give right example.
박판만 지든데 당연도 가다일라 섭지질라로 와. 지den게 아니 입다 가서 통할 때 통즈데 자고로 와. 아니 가래 nga 지된 방아다 저기 nga 지된 받아 미저 송로 와. 지된 간지 릴럼마한테 저 지된 베탕인데 지는 디고 말아.
So just like in worldly we see the color and the shapes of the people, we say I saw that one, right? So just like in the entering to the Madhyamika Dhammakiri Tawara
나도 빠인 봐요.
Mara then Umajigwa Tawara. Yeah, Chandakirti talk about just like we never debate with the worldly, whatever worldly accept, we accept. What worldly one debate with us. You got it? So in general, public whatever they believe, we also say they exist. Did exist ba? Whatever they say, this exists, that exists. We also believe there's all exist, right? So they debate with us. We are not debating with them. So kind of like whatever the worldly the people believe in exist, we also say believe. So whatever the worldly they say, when you see a shape of a color and of a person, then you say I saw that one, right? Like that we also believe in that. Now debate is come, we use valid for color or valid for fire. Now one thing is like when you see someone, right, shaped like you are wearing a glass or whatever, you don't know him, right? When you meet or whatever, so on the road, if someone asks you, did you see this person? He give you the name, right? Then he describe you this like. Then you say I saw him, right? He was just went there. I saw him. So it means that you saw him, but you don't know the name. It doesn't mean that you still saw him, right? So you are valid for him when you see the first time, right?
So then you live it, right?
다 입다 가서 통할라 이 tsama 다 미시 tsama 균이 자야매 차도 그래.
So just like if you don't have just like through the seeing of color and shapes, then we call it valid. Otherwise, if you don't describe as a valid or prime, then the eye consciousness never really have a valid because eye consciousness never know the names and so on.
원시 tsama 유르마도 캡슬라고 지그랬더니
Then you say just like whatever the direct perceiver, like which is sense direct perceiver, you should say the sense direct perceiver never see the object because he never know the name. So means not necessary to, if you are valid, not necessary we know the name.
So the eye didn't see the fire or the flame.
Now asking a question. What is asking a question?
디 연구하다 쉐는 되는 뭐 연구하다.
Now this is the debate.
So now if that guy first
다 결혼서 똑바로 차려래. 다 야네한테 되게 님배 삼을 땅 거래.
Now we give you the doubt. Now you have to think by yourself. Homework.
얌
She
전부
say homework.
아이
the first time I see this person, let's say I go to New York and I'm watching a Broadway show, and then I go outside and one of the actors comes outside and I meet this person for the first time, but they're still in costume. Then they go back inside and come out and they've changed clothes. I'm seeing them again for the first time.
You are not seeing him for first time. You are seeing his costume for first time.
He comes out dressed as a woman, I'm introduced to him. Then he goes inside, changes clothes, and comes out normal clothing. Now he's dressed as a man.
Then
Then I'm seeing him again for the first time.
그 미디 둘로들베 미디 점바지 열었을라. 둘로를 점바지 열었어.
so he's talking about the custom or the when you talk of the person different from custom or the custom.
Is that first moment? Is it possible to make the separation?
디게 그산 술 공겐 미디 미디 드린 술 먹고 이제 돈에 다가 그산 미디 마통을 쏘지 자고 지그러.
So just like when you go for somewhere in an office, comes with a gentleman suit, an office, right? When you see the person with the gentleman suit and so on, then you see next time in a grocery shop with a normal clothes.
It's casual. But I'm
Yeah,
talking
normal
about-
clothes. Same then, one person, right? Same person we are talking about, same person.
person, but the guy that comes out dressed as a woman has all this makeup and all this stuff that makes him look
데데
like a woman.
더거바데서 집어지게라 와.
But I'm
가시
still the same person.
미지기 야보 덩그리 주무 덩그리 링파 덩그리 장보 덩그리 와. 미지를 되어 와.
So same like just like in a drama, they do like same like different. So value for you whenever you see the first one, you use value to it.
It's like all different kinds of fire. Big ones, small ones.
Yes.
You throw chemicals in, they turn
Are you
different colors.
asking, so if they're dressed in makeup, are you saying you actually think they're a woman?
Well, there are some people that fall in love with the character of what an actor or an actress is portraying, and they believe so hard that that character exists, and then they
It's
see.
delusional, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it?
Attachment.
It's illusion, right?
All yell at the TV screen. No, Kevin.
It's illusion, right?
We're all delusional.
It's illusion, right?
Yeah.
It's illusion, right?
It's illusion.
Yeah, right.
So we're caught up in the illusion.
Of course.
If you, I do have a question though.
That's how magic works.
Like with that same instance, let's say you weren't going to the Broadway show, but you saw somebody come out dressed like that, and you saw them for the first time, and you thought they were female. Then if they go back and they come out and they're dressed and they're actually, well, I'm not saying actually, but like they look, you find out that they're male. Does that mean you've seen two different people?
No, you see only one people.
Create two different labels.
You create a two different level, yeah.
Okay.
You see one people.
So the first label I gave Mildred, then he goes back in and comes back out, and I give him the label Bill.
Yeah, of course.
So
You
Mildred
just
is
give
real, and Mildred wasn't real.
your conceptual level different, right?
Or there's an aspect of Bill,
What?
or Bill's the aspect of Mildred. And
I expect as much from a psychologist.
추상 무슨 들.
야. 다자쇼.
Okay.
가리라웨 거레 진간데 벤당데 와마린중 제레지 원텐진 갸토이 자베시데 바르도 땡규르진 잠발바웨 치다 켐바탄 콘도잠 대다 군게제조달로제 가완디다 탐제랍투고 뒤숨시베갸와 탐제게 모칸라초동 사진게베 자원디 군장 잠보 조제 rab동 와라기